Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to everyone. Welcome to our forum about the benefits and challenges of living alone. I am MOHAMAD MURTADA and I'll be your moderator for today's session. It's a pleasure to have all of you here with us to explore this interesting topic. So as we know, living alone has become increasingly common, especially among young adults, working professionals, and students. While some enjoy the independence it brings, others may struggle with the solitude and responsibilities that come with it. So today, we are here to discuss both the benefits and the challenges of living alone. We'll be hearing different viewpoints from our panelists and opening the floor to questions and thoughts from the audience later. So let me introduce the panelists. On my right side, Mr. Azril, a working adult who has bad experience living with others. Next to him, Miss Aisyah, a counselor who lives alone in the city. Next to Miss Aisyah is Miss Hana, someone who lived alone for the past 10 years. So on my left side, Miss Batrisya, someone who tried to live alone and didn't like it. Next to her is Miss Aimi, who enjoys living with others. Next to Miss Aimi is Mr. Ashraf, a psychologist. So let's begin with the first questions. To all panelists, what is your guys' opinion about living alone? Mr. Azril?
In my opinion, there's nothing to disrupt your flow, and you are free to optimize your time down to the minutes.
Okay, so Miss Aisyah, what is your opinion about living alone?
Hey everyone, so my opinion on living alone is at first it was a little scary, but I wasn't sure I feel lonely or overwhelmed. But over time, I realized that living alone become one of the best decisions I've ever made. It taught me a lot about myself, things I probably wouldn't have learned. It was living alone with someone else. So today, living alone gave me chance to really get to know myself without other people around all the time. I had space to think, reflect, and understand how I feel about things. I become more aware of my thoughts, habits, and emotions. This helped me grow as a person and understand what I truly want in life.
Okay, so Miss Hana, what is your opinion about living alone?
So, I've been living alone for almost 10 years now. To be honest, as an introvert, it's completely worth it. I get to have my own personal space. I don't have to constantly make small talk after a long day from work or from college. And also, I get to recharge in peace exactly how I need to.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's hear from the opposite side. Miss Batrisya, what do you think about living alone?
As someone who has living alone for over 5 years, I don't really think I can survive living alone because living alone comes with several challenges. For example, that you need to do all the house chores alone, and also you need to be lonely. You need to be alone all the time.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Batrisya. What about you, Miss Aimi?
For me, living with others has really shaped my daily life in a positive way. It made me more disciplined because I naturally pick up good habits from people around me, and like keeping things clean or sticking with a routine. However, I also keep it also keep me motivated because when I see others studying or being productive, I tend to encourage myself to do the same. That's all for me.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Aimi. Uh, and what about you, Mr. Ashraf? What do you think about living alone?
In my opinion, I think that living alone have many downsides to it and the challenge. So, the some of the challenge that I can point out is the lack of emotional support during a crucial phase. Another one, increase the risk of loneliness and depression. And next one is poorer daily routine and self care, limited social and communication skills. Next one is financial and safety stress. And last but not least, the brain is still developing because with having people around us, it can help us in many ways, especially on our brain and behavior development.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashraf. Okay, so question to Mr. Azril. I'm sure you are ready for this question. Some people say living alone gives them a sense of peace, freedom, and personal growth. In your opinion, how can having your own space affect your daily life, responsibilities, and overall well-being?
Well, in my opinion, having your own space can really help improve your daily life and well-being. It gives you freedom to manage your time and make decisions without depending on others. You also learn to be more responsible, like doing chores, paying bills, and managing your own routine. Mentally, it provides peace and helps reduce stress because you have a quiet space to think and recharge. Although it can get lonely sometimes, it allows for personal growth and independence.
Alright, thank you so much, Mr. Azril. So let's hear from Miss Patricia. Okay, you have experienced living alone and found it wasn't for you, right? What were the main challenges and why do you think living with others works better for you?
In my opinion, one of the biggest difficulties is that you need to do all the house chores yours by yourself, which are including you need to cleaning, cooking, doing the laundry, and making sure your home is in order. It can be tiring, especially if you have a busy schedule. So, in many ways, this living arrangement can be supportive when you live with others. There's always someone to talk or spend time with, which help reduce loneliness or stress. Social supports play a big role in our psychological well-being, and having people around you can improve your mood and motivation.
That's an interesting opinion. So let's ask the counselor here. So Miss Aisha, as a counselor that has been living alone for almost 10 years, what have you learned about yourself and what do you think are the biggest benefits of living alone?
For me, what I learned is living alone also taught me become more responsible, which there's no one to remind you to pay bills, clean the house, or take care of yourself. You have to manage your time, your money, and health. It made me more organized and disciplined because I knew that if I didn't take care of things, no one else could. And the most important things is learning to be independent because when you live alone, you have to take care of everything by yourself, from cooking and cleaning to making decision. It's all on you. It was tough at first, but it helped me to become more stronger and more confident. I didn't have to rely on anyone else, and that gave me a real sense of freedom and control over my life. That's all for me.
Right, thank you so much. So living alone can help us be more independent. So next question is to Miss Aimi. You have always lived with others. So how has that shaped your daily life and what do you like most about it?
So for me, I also learned how to be more patient, handle conflicts calmly, and understand different types of people. However, things that I like the most is the strong friendship I've built, because some of my best memories come from just doing everyday things together. And of course, sharing costs like rent and groceries makes things more manageable as a student. And that's all for me.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Aimi. So let's hear from Miss Hannah. As someone who's lived alone for almost 10 years, what do you enjoy most about having your own space and doing things on your own?
Alright. Like I said, I am an introvert, so it's hard for me to interact. Living alone means there's no awkward roommate tension, no forced conversations. I like people, just not in my house. Another huge win is trust. I don't have trust issue, but when it comes to money, I do. When you live alone, there's no drama about bills or rent. I pay for everything. I know exactly what's due and when. It's clearer, simpler, and just less stressful. And the laundry is completely under my control. I can wash my clothes whenever I want. I can leave them in the dryer for hours because no one's waiting. It's just me and my own laundry schedule. Then there's the kitchen utensils and dishes, all of it. No one's leaving dirty dishes in the sink to soak. I know everything's clean because I am the one who cleaned it. Cleaning house and decorations are all on my terms. I don't have to compromise on where the couch goes or whether we hang a weight painting in the hallway. If I want to rearrange my space at 1 a.m., no one can stop me. That's all from me.
Alright, thank you so much, Miss Hannah. That's a good reason as a introvert. So, Mr. Ashraf, as a psychologist, what challenges do young people often face when living alone, especially with mental health and daily responsibilities?
Right. So, as a psychologist, we have been doing research on many people on how living alone can impact them mentally and physically. So, one of the crucial points that I would like to point out is lack of emotional support during a crucial phase. As we know, as we're living alone, there's no one that we can rely on. Yeah, for some people, it's good for them because they would like to be independent. They would like to have a time for themselves. But uh, having a time alone is good, but not for a long time of period. We need someone to talk to because it can reduce our stress, anxiety, and also it can cure depression. Next one is the increases risk of loneliness and depression because we live alone. There's no one we can talk to, we can defend. So these things unconsciously increase the risk of those things. And the next one is poor daily routines and self-care because there's no one around us. So we don't need to be aware of our surrounding because there's no one to judge, there's no one to talk about our behavior, our routines, and all that. So it can affect the environment, and by that, it also can affect the mental health of the person that living alone. And the final point that I would like to talk is about their financial. As a teenagers and young adults, they didn't have a stable income every month. So by living alone, they have to overcome their financially by themselves. They have to pay the bills, the rent, and also their utensil and food, so that they can make it throughout the months. So as a student, teenagers, and young adults, it can be quite challenging for them to handling living alone. Right. That's all from me.
Alright, thank you so much, Mr. Ashraf. Now let's open the floor to the Q&A sessions. Does anyone have a questions?
Yes, I have a question for Ashraf. So, Mr. Ashraf, a study showed that choosing your own alone time boosts your sense of self-worth and competence, something I genuinely felt when I finally get a moment to myself. So, what do you think about it?
All right. So, as we all know, having our own alone time is crucial for our mental health because at that moment we can reflect on ourselves, we can deep thoughts about what we do and everything else. But uh, a long time of period being alone can cause harm than the benefit it can give. For example, it can increase the risk of loneliness and depression because we have no one to talk to because we keep everything to ourselves because we are alone. We got no one to talk. So yeah, that's what I think about your statement.
Alright, thank you so much, Mr. Azril and Mr. Ashraf. Next, does anyone have a questions?
Yes, I have a question. I would like to ask Miss Aisha a question. As a counselor, what is the most benefits of living alone?
As I said earlier, the benefit is we can learn to be independent. But I want to add, the biggest benefit that I got is I found that living alone gave me space for healing. As a counselor, I know how important emotional healing is. When you're alone, you have the quiet time to process past experiences, reflect, and rest. That's all from me.
All right, thank you so much, Miss Patricia and Miss Aisha. So next question is from Miss Hana.
Thank you. My question is for Mr. Ashraf. Just now you said ones cannot live alone since they need someone to talk to regarding their problem. For me, I think I don't need anyone to talk. As living alone has taught me to be independent. Also, I am introvert, so loneliness is not a problem to me. So, what do you think of my point of view?
All right. So uh, I think I agree with you because not everyone is suitable living with people. Some people are tend to live alone because that's how they cope with themselves. Maybe they have their more emotional intelligence than the other, so that he or she can cope with herself alone. But still, generally speaking, uh, teenagers and young adults still developing their brains to handle stress, to handle their emotions. So, by practicing living with others, can help them to develop these kind of things so that they can apply it into their life and uh, can have more rational thinking and critical thinking to make decisions and everything else. Yeah.
All right, that's an interesting opinion from Mr. Achap. Next, I believe Miss Aimi have a questions.
Yes, I do. I have a question to Miss Aisha. Uh, as for me, I have lived with many people, right? So why do you think it is better for me to live alone?
Thank you for the question. So one of the thing that make living alone feel better is you can learn self-awareness. Being alone give you time and space to truly listen to your thoughts and emotion. Uh, that's my answer.
All right, so does anyone else have questions?
Yes,
No. Okay.
Yes, I have a
Okay,
question.
Mr. Azril.
So, Miss Miss Amy. So you live with people since this past year. So don't you have any personal problems like having a housemates that don't clean themselves often, doesn't wash their dishes, and leave their hell all around the house?
Yes, I do have some roommates that didn't clean their place and didn't tidy their room, right? So for me, when you want to live with other people, it's better for you to choose your housemate wisely so that it will not ruin your it's not will not affect your daily and your mental health. So it's a good roommate and housemate is very important for you and for your daily life. Okay, that's all.
I would like to add up a bit on Aimi's point. So I think if you're having such problems with having such difficulties on your roommate or housemate, I think communication is one of the I think that communication is one of the solution that you can try. So if you're ever facing someone that doesn't do their dishes, have an attitude, so communication is always a platform or a key to avoid those things, to avoid misunderstanding, and to form better relationship. Yeah. So
All right, thank you so much, everyone. That's the closing for our forum. So thank you to our panelists and everyone who participated in today's sessions. We have learned that while living alone can offer independence, freedom, and self-discovery, it also requires good time management, emotional realization, and responsibility. In short, we have learned that both living alone and living with others has advantages and disadvantages, and the experience can be very different for each person. What works well for one may not work for another, and that's perfectly okay. Once again, I am Mohamad Ismurtada. and it's been an honor moderating this forum. Stay curious, stay open-minded, and thank you for being a great audience. Assalamualaikum and have a great day ahead.